This hour brought to you by GCNLife.com. Live younger, look younger, feel younger at GCNLife.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Mark Leibovit. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on Saturday, January 26th. We're experiencing some internet issues out here on the West Coast. Some say it's related to solar flares, who knows what, but we're doing this over the phone versus our normal broadcast equipment, so we apologize for any loss of quality. We come to you each week here with some hopefully good ideas and trades with the whole line of very interesting guests. And if you want more information on my services, please don't hesitate to go to vrtrader.com. Meanwhile, on the line with me at the moment is my good friend Harry Boxer from the techtrader.com, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's moving in the markets here. Harry, thank you for joining us. We have a strong market here. The Dow and all the indices are on the move again.
That's right. And we just got something on a tape now that Trump is expected to make an announcement about the government shutdown early this afternoon. I don't know what that means, but this market could really have a phenomenal move either way, up or down, depending on what he says. So we'll see what happens this afternoon. Meanwhile, a lot of...
Right, as a reminder to our listeners, we're taping this interview on Friday at approximately noon Eastern time, so anything could happen between now and the close. So go ahead, Harry. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah, here's my take. I just really feel like there's so many stocks have broken out of pullback bases and declining channels that I have put on upwards of a dozen to 15 new swing trades in the last, week and a half. That's quite a bit for me, and I just think there's a lot of this market is going to surprise a lot of people to the upside and basically squeeze all the shorts. And right now, as we speak today, we do have a negative divergence where the NASDAQ 100, which is powering ahead at this point, 84 points, is made a new high for the day, intraday, but the S&P refused to, hasn't yet. Might be a negative divergence. We could just pull back this afternoon on a Friday. Wouldn't surprise me, but we have a lot of strong stuff going on here. And Netflix is up 11 and change. It's Amazon 20. Apple's up 156 and change, and that's a very big, and Amazon 20. So this is a very, very solid move. And breadth-wise, we have 2270 up and 515 down on New York. That's huge. And NASDAQ is 3-1 positive. Up-down volume is 4-1 and 3.5-1. It's a very solid day technically.
And we're also starting to see gold trying to uptick here a little bit again. What do you think?
Well, I'm trading J-Nug and Nugget. I both think about those intraday charts. Not only did they break out above resistance, but if you look at the intraday rising channel, they're very powerful. We got a nice pop on my favorite marijuana stocks, BGC, as well, up more than 4 points today.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list as well. That stock looks like it might be an $80 stock. I think you have a high target yourself, right?
Yeah, I think that stock could be 60, maybe 70 in the next few weeks.
I know it has been the leader, no question about it. They had that new deal with the state of New York, and it's the blue chip in Canada. But some of the others are moving too. Kronos broke out to a new high, as you probably know, yesterday and today.
Right. It did pull back sharply, though, this morning. It bounced, but that's a much more volatile stock than some of the others. Like one of your favorite the green organic Dutchman. And by the way, that popped and now has a bull coil. It could go higher. I'm looking for as much as another 75 cents to $1 more. Currently at 277. I'm targeting 375 on that one.
Right, that's an interesting stock. They claim to have been the biggest IPO offering of all the internet stocks. I think they raised like $360 million, and stock ran up to like 7.5 or so, pulled all the way back to about $1.60, and now it's around 270. So sounds like a potential trade there as well. So
here's a heads up for your investors. The solar group is sneaky today, and I mean, look at JK Solar. CSIQ made a new 52-week high today, and First Solar, my swing trade, the leader in that group, much like CGC, the leader in marijuana. First Solar is the leader in solar group. Look at the chart of that. Beautiful base pattern broke out. Lines coming in. This stock could be a big number over the next few months, as much as 60, 65, even back to 72 where it was a year ago. So right now, 49.75.
A couple others are moving in the group, as you mentioned, JKS and Solar Edge too, right?
Solar Edge is interesting. It's not really a solar stock. What they do is it's more of a the technology stock. What they do, they supply components to the solar industry. They don't supply solar power. But in that one, in itself right now is at 41.46, up $1.22 today. But there's a triple top resistance at 42.75. We get through that. That could be a good swing trade. The other thing that I'm really excited about here, and I put a swing trade on it that's immediately responding, is overstock. I think it's extremely oversold. I think they just came. They launched a new platform for Bitcoin and that kind of stuff. Anyway, bottom line is that broke out big time today. It's up about 14-15% on 5 million shares, and looks like it's a major technical breakout. I have a swing on that one too. OSTK.
Yeah, I like that one myself. I saw that last night. We put it on our buy list as well. Really, really cheap. Harry, I want to really thank you for squeezing us in here on a Friday. I know you're busy with a very active market. Our subscribers, our listeners could tap into your service at dtechtrader.com. You still offer that 2-week free trial, right?
Right. No credit card necessary. Just come on in, sign up, and enjoy yourself for 2 weeks and make some money and pay for a year's subscription. A lot of people do that.
Okay, great. So hopefully you sign up and check out dtechtrader.com and Harry Boxer's great service. Thank you, Harry, for taking a few moments with us, and we'll talk to you hopefully next week. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Harry Boxer, thetechtrader.com. Folks, market on the move here. As you know, a lot of bearish sentiment. We are, looking for a market that could be quite volatile this year, but as you know, we had a lot of bears as a result of the big sell-off we saw into the end of the year, and most are calling for a bear market rally. So far, and maybe that's what it is, but, we take each trade as it comes and each day as it comes. I'm more optimistic than that. I think, for the year, the market could still be up, though. Of course, as we saw last year, we could get some huge swings. If you remember last February, we had that big nosedive, and then the market came back afterwards. Maybe it'll be the opposite this year. Maybe we'll rally into early February and then maybe pull off a bit. But we have some big-name stocks like the Apples and the Googles of the world that are still well off their highs. Amazon is another one. So there's still potential here. And you got to take the viewpoint. Are you trading or investing for the market? If you're investing, stay with it. Big highs are still, I feel, well down the road. There's always going to be volatility. I'm not necessarily looking for any bear market now, but if we see those signs, we'll certainly try to bring it to the attention of our VRTrader.com subscribers. So we have a whole list of newsletters, as you probably know, our VR Cannabis letter, our VR Gold letter, our VR Platinum letter, and we even have the Trading Addict product, which is for those who like to catch some of the shorter-term swings in the market. We're going to be on the road here for the next week or two. We're traveling up to Vancouver for the World Outlook Conference, and I'll be talking a little bit about that with our next guest, Don Violo, coming up in the next segment. But we're going to be focusing a little bit on the cannabis stocks there. In fact, there's a free cannabis conference. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back after the break.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for rejuvenation. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, MEDICAL.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Many people believe they don't control their own destiny. Let them continue just getting by while you make the choice to do something about your future. Imagine working from home, earning the income you deserve. Just visit startlivingyoung.com and click on the Be Your Own Boss tab. Discover Juness, a state-of-the-art global health company with over $1 billion a year in sales. They'll provide all the tools you need to succeed. Visit startlivingyoung.com today and click on the Be Your Own Boss tab. Your destiny awaits at startlivingyoung.com.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Janess has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to GCNlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to GCNlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Think big. Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on the Saturday, the 26th of January, and we have our good friend Don Bulow online from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Good morning, Don. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me back, Mark.
So as a little bit of a plug here for both Don and myself, we're both going to be attending the World Outlook Conference February 1st, 2nd in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm based in Phoenix, and Don's in Toronto, so we're both traveling to get there. And it's going to be an exciting conference. I'm doing a little pre-conference cannabis presentation, maybe something afterwards. I'm not quite sure. I'll check the schedule. Don's going to be talking about market cycles and timing, and it's going to be an exciting conference. So if you're anywhere near the Vancouver area or if you're on the West Coast, it's certainly worth the trip to the World Outlook Conference. Usually there's 12 to 1,500 people that are in attendance. If you'd like to get more information on signing up, you go to moneytalks.net. That's moneytalks.net, and there's a place there where you can register. And for some reason you can't make it, post-conference, they do offer videos of the conference, so those are for sale afterwards. But it's certainly, worth going there to see the presenters live, including nice guys like Don and myself. So we'll be there shaking your hand. If you're certainly there, we'll be happy to say hello to you. Don, good morning. Thank you again.
Yeah, my topic is going to be a very timely one. It's called Year 2019, Year of the Commodity. And the rest of this radio show will explain why.
Okay. Well, let's still talk about the markets because they're up big. They were big on Friday, at least during the time we were doing this interview. We, as a point of disclosure, unfortunately, because we are traveling and so forth, timing and whatnot, we are taping the interview Friday midday afternoon. So at this moment, the markets are higher. Your view is that the bear market rally is continuing. Right.
Yes, it is continued. Probably we're a little over halfway through the bear market rally. North American equity markets actually were about flat last week, despite some really bearish news. We have continuation of the shutdown of the U.S. government, stalled negotiations with China, and continuing concerns about the Mueller investigation.
My question is there a chance that it's not a bear market rally, or it's too early to tell?
It really is too early to tell, but normally these bear market rallies from an extremely oversold level move higher for about 2 months, and we've seen both U.S. and Canadian equity markets move higher for 4 weeks so far. So we still have another couple of weeks, or another, say, 4 weeks to go on this bear market rally.
Last year in early February, as you recall, the market took a big nosedive and shook everybody out. And then, of course, we recovered for the good part of the year. Maybe the opposite's happening this year. Maybe the rally is into February, just, reversing that pattern. Of course, there's speculation on my part, but perhaps that's what it's about. We shall see.
Yeah, one step at a time. The great news is that once you get past the bear market rally, you have a test of the previous lows, and then you hear multi-low levels for North American equity markets. So stay tuned.
Okay. So assuming it is a bear market rally, and you're correct, and we go down again, so in your view, would we then take out the December lows?
History shows that that's what happens for both the S&P 500 and the TSE Composite, implying a test of the December 24th lows. The interesting thing is there could be some other opportunities to invest to make some good money, and probably is not going to be in North American markets. Probably will be in emerging markets and things like China, things like that. So, for example, the Turkish ETF, symbol being TUR, last week broke to a 6-month high. The Hang Seng Index broke above a 4-month trading range, completing a classic double bottom pattern. And also the South Korea Kospi Index broke above a 3-month trading range on Thursday, also completing a classic double bottom pattern. Now that implies that particularly southeastern markets could do very, very well, despite North American markets not doing that well. So the Hong Kong, China, South Korea, and emerging markets in general have a history of moving higher right through until the end of April. There's a pretty good chance that that's going to happen once again. There's a way of playing that. In the case of if you're a U.S. investor, there's an ETF, the symbol being EEM, which tracks the emerging markets. In Canada, Canadian investors will want to invest in ZEM and XEM, also trading and tracking the emerging markets.
Most commodity markets came alive last week, right?
Oh, boy, did they ever. Gold broke about $1,300 per ounce to a 7-month high on Friday. Gold stocks and related ETFs quickly responded, a number of them breaking to new highs as well. Now, seasonal influences are positive for gold and gold stocks to the end of February. Also, the spot price of timber completed a classic reverse head and shoulders pattern on Thursday, breaking above the $372 per MTB level. Forest product stocks on both sides of the border quickly responded, particularly the Canadian producers, including Canfor, Interfor, and West Fraser timber. Seasonal influences for lumber and lumber stocks are positive until the end of April. U.S. investors can participate in an ETF on this one as well. Very interesting symbol. The symbol is WOOD, wood.
Well, it looks not great. Let's talk about the fourth quarter earnings reports.
So far, so good. We've had some very good reports from the banks in the first week of reporting. This past week, we had some very positive results from many, but not all, of the technology companies. And then next week is a big week for the major U.S. companies reporting the results. In fact, next week there were really 14 Dow Jones industrial companies expected to report. Just to name a few, there's Caterpillar, Apple's a big one on Tuesday. There's Verizon, Pfizer, M, Microsoft, AT&T, Amazon on Thursday, Dow DuPont, McDonald's, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Visa, and Merck. That's a large number of companies which are going to be reporting. Look for some good news.
What a list.
Yeah.
And we only have a few seconds, Don. Cannabis stocks on a big move again. TGC up big on Friday on a brokerage recommendation, I believe.
Yes, lots of interesting action there. Again, there's news about takeovers happening in that industry, and that probably will continue to flow into the markets over the next few weeks.
Don, thank you for joining us. Don Violo from EquityClock.com, TimingTheMarket.ca, and we'll be seeing each other in Vancouver in about a week, Don. Thank you for joining us. Be great. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward.
Don't touch your dial, folks. Sinclair No is up in segment 4, and we're going to have an encore with Bill Murphy.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
USA Radio News with Wendy King.
The partial government shutdown is over for the time being.
We have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Within hours, Congress voted to fund the government through mid-February and issue back pay to hundreds of thousands of government employees. Only one day before, the president was vowing to hold firm for border wall money.
We have to have border security. We have to have a wall in order to have border security. You cannot have border security without a wall.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer explains where there is some compromise.
There are many of us who don't like the wall. It is expensive, ineffective, But there are many other kinds of border security that both Democrats and Republicans can agree upon, and I think we'll be able to agree and avoid another shutdown.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here. I did it. I finally invented the perfect deal. KFC Famous Bowls are now just $3. That's a whole pound of a good deal. Do you like mashed potatoes and gravy? How about potatoes and gravy and corn? Or mashed potatoes and gravy and corn and chicken? Maybe even mashed potatoes and gravy and corn and chicken and cheese. You do? Well, you can get a whole pound of it together in a bowl for just $3. Or try it spicy. What a time to be alive. KFC, it's finger-licking good. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Tax extra. Signature flavor charge may apply.
The following update is for drivers who pay too much for car insurance due to DUIs, DWIs, tickets, or anything else. Our company specializes in low-cost SR22 auto insurance. We know that mistakes happen and offer free quotes for very affordable auto insurance meant specifically for you, the overpaying high-risk driver. The quote is free, and we'll handle the filing so you can start saving money. Call 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetraw.radio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, the 12th of January, and we really are happy that you took time on a Saturday morning to tune in, and we have always a list of very provocative guests for you on the program each week. We want to thank Harry Boxer for joining us, Henry Weingarten, and Don Violo on the program this morning, and we look forward to talking to Sinclair No hopefully in a few minutes. One of our good and regular guests and friends, Bill Murphy, has agreed to join us this Saturday morning. Bill is one of the principals of the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, GATA.org, organized way back in 1998 with the intent of exposing, opposing, and litigating against the collusion to control the price and supply of gold and related financial instruments. And the financial press, unfortunately, really doesn't give GATA the coverage it deserves, and I do my best here and in my letter over the years. And, of course, we all know markets are manipulated. This is nothing new. I've been doing this for 40 years in the markets, and as a floor trader, I saw plenty of that, and many people thought I was crazy writing about it, and then we've seen all the scandals unfold over the years. But this is the nature of the beast. Meanwhile, again, maybe there's more exposure to stock manipulation than there is to what goes on in the precious metals, and this is why we have Bill on the program. Bill, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Well, just recently, questions came out regarding manipulation in the silver market. Apparently, a former trader for J.P. Morgan Chase confessed to manipulating the silver market. I mean, this is no great surprise to you and me, but let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we've been on that case for 20 years, as you
mentioned. And, we realized soon after forming GATA that it wasn't just gold they were rigging, but silver, and they needed to rig silver to keep the price of, gold in check so it didn't get out of whack. And it's been going on forever, and they've kept the price down in the 1470 area till very recently, and now they're stopping it again at 1570, and it's just so obvious. And they had the open interest, which is the amount of longs and shorts on the COMEX, way up to around 240,000 at one point. Now that's come way down, and we're hoping that that's going to be a sign, if it can stay down, that the silver is going to finally get moving again, because when it went to near $50 in 2011, the open interest was about 135,000 all the way up until the very end. And then in regards to this question with Edmonds, it was what they call spoofing, and the real important aspect of his being convicted and going to jail is that he said everyone above him knew what was going on. At the time, there was a woman named Blythe Masters, head of his department, and she went on to something else and signed some kind of blockchain thing or something. Just about the time that his news, which came out of the woodwork, him being convicted, no one was even talking about it. She resigned from the position of where she was at this new operation. So we're hoping that's just the very beginning and tip of the iceberg of what's coming in terms of exposing how nefarious this gold and silver manipulation has been.
One of the problems is many have before now have petitioned the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to look at situations like this, particularly what goes on in the COMEX, and seems to hit a dead end so frequently. It seems to be a political football.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I spoke in the CFTC and the Commission in 2010 about exposing this manipulation, what was going on in the markets, and they videotaped it for the Internet, and the only thing that was blocked out was what I had to say.
Wow.
And we've been there several times. We've written, countless times, sent all sorts of information. I know Ted Butler has done the same thing, and they just ignore it or refuse to talk about it. And it's ridiculous. There's no sheriff.
The excuse for the manipulation, even though it's not admitted, is the Gold Reserve Act back in 1934, which was created by the U.S. Treasury's Department Exchange Stabilization Fund. Let's talk a little about that. Most people don't even know that exists.
Well, that's when the gold was confiscated back then, but just as interesting to me, and most importantly, is that it is totally legal from the U.S. government standpoint to rig the markets via the Exchange Stabilization Fund and the Working Group on Financial Markets. They have been given explicit permission to do what they want to do, but of course, if they explain to everybody what they're doing, it defeats the purpose of it, and that's what, and it's just wrong, because then they've got other people, what isn't right and illegal in my opinion, then they have people like this John Edmonds and people trading around it and with what I call this gold cartel is doing. And that's totally illegal because it's all this collusion. And, of course, the Fed and the Treasury do not want to let anyone know what they're doing. As my colleague Chris Powell said, they'd rather release our nuclear secrets than what they're doing in the gold and silver markets. So it's always hush-hush, and no one says a thing. No one will talk about it in the press, as you alluded to earlier. I mean, we send all sorts of stuff to the press. They won't mention it. We don't have a free press in this regard at all. And a lot of it stems with, as you mentioned, way back when they first confiscated gold and gold certificates from the U.S. public.
And then when Nixon took us off the gold standard back in 1971, I believe, that really complicated things because we had more information back then, and then it really became hush-hush.
Well, yeah, and that's led to, what I call this gold cartel, which includes the Fed, the Treasury, the bullion banks, foreign governments, the Bank for International Settlements, and they've just gone into this massive rigging operation for reasons. One, in terms of the dollar and to keep interest rates lower than they would be. And quite frankly, gold's a barometer of U.S. financial market health. I mean, that's even sort of what Paul Volcker said. Up is bad, down is good. I mean, if all of a sudden gold was up $150 overnight, you'd have people screaming about what's wrong.
Right. That's really the crux of the whole matter. A big move in gold questions government's legitimacy, economic policy, and they have to suppress it, otherwise it makes them look bad. And, of course, there's been a lot of talk about backing the dollar with gold, but you and I know there's not enough gold around to do that. So where do you foresee things heading here, Bill? It's really frustrating.
Oh, is it frustrating? But I think, we've gone through a lot of lousy years. I think they're running lower and lower gradually on physical supply. They're having trouble keeping the price down. It's gone up nicely the past many months, and they had silver under total control till about 2 weeks ago, and they're back at it again now. I mean, gold has just gone up 7 days in a row above 1290, and either the next day or the same day now it's gone right down below. So there's many reasons for gold and silver to explode, and I think that's what they're going to do this time. They're going to do what they've always done, and then they're finally going to lose control. They're going to be overpowered by events. We started to see a little bit when the fear trade came in, when our stock market was falling apart, which, by the way, talk about rigging. Once the Treasury Secretary comes out and says and one day, on a Sunday, I think it was, he called us. He said he was going to call in the plunge protection team, told the world exactly what he was going to do. Hardly anyone even mentioned about it, and certain people did. It lasted 1 day. Now the stock market's gone straight up. When he told everybody what they're going to do, they had almost no risk because they had all the money in the world behind it, and no one discusses it. You can't see any mention in the mainstream financial market press about the plunge protection team. You have to admit to that 1 day when he told the world what he was going to do.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other story. We need to talk about that. That's a working group of financial markets that Ronald Reagan signed into law. Bill, we ran out of time, and I want to give you a quick plug here. GATA.org, GATE.org. They accept donations. They have a great website, and I want you all to go there. Bill, thank you again, and we'll have you back real soon on the program. Bill Murphy from GATA.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Standing up for what's right, helping out when things go wrong, seeking the truth and speaking our minds, not just making records, but breaking them, leading the way behind the camera, beyond the runway, and on the silver screen, not just making our mark, but making a difference. Now that's a job for a Girl Scout. Girl Scouts, preparing girls for a lifetime of leadership.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It is Saturday, the 26th of January, and we're very pleased to have our good friend Sinclair No again joining us this morning. Sinclair No authors a great blog called EatTheBankers.com and has been a financial commentator at KFN 1510 Radio for more than a couple decades, and great insights into the market. And we always enjoy having him on the show. In fact, my personal opinion is that he really helps make the show. So thank you, Sinclair, for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Very kind. I appreciate that.
Okay, so the Federal Reserve did what they were going to do in mid-January, and now it looks like we may not see many more interest rate hikes for a while.
At this point, we are looking at a Fed that is on pause, and this wasn't the case back, say, in October, November, or even December when they last raised rate. The thought was that we would see maybe, certainly 2 more rate hikes in 2019, maybe 3, in addition to those of 2018. But the most likely time for it would be the March FOMC meeting. But something's happening. The economy is starting to slow down. We've got a little bit of a downturn on the corporate side, on corporate earnings, just because companies don't have the advantage of the tax cuts that they had a year ago. But other than that, earnings are coming in pretty decent if you can kind of wash off the tax effect from year-ago numbers and you're making the comparison now. Most of the companies are still earning pretty decent. The rate of growth in earnings has not been as strong, but they're still growing. But on the other side, you've got the shutdown, which is eating into GDP at a rate of 0.1 to 0.2 of a percentage point per week. And we are now moving into, day 34, 35, something like that, a little over a month. If this keeps going for much longer, we could literally have a first quarter that turns in negative growth, actually contracts. You've also got the Chinese-U.S. trade problems that continue to go on without resolution, and which look now more and more that a little over a month from now we might see those tariffs raised from 10% to 25%. It's not going to help China. It's not going to help the U.S. as far as economic growth is concerned for what would then be the second quarter. So there's a lot of reasons to be concerned if you are a Federal Reserve policymaker right now. And the idea is, why not just sit back and wait a little bit, see how the interest rates filter through the economy? What effect does the shutdown, the trade war, and a hike in interest rates have to do with what impact does that have on the economy? We've already seen the bond market has started to kind of discount more rate hikes. That's why we've got the 10-year note at around 2.75% right now. There was a while back in the latter part of 2018 where we saw rates move up above 3% because the thinking was that the Federal Reserve would just continue to raise interest rates. That has now changed over the past 2 months.
I don't know if it was Dalio out at the Davos conference or someone that was out there predicting that the Fed could even take rates back to zero. Things could get that bad. Did you read that story?
I have not read that, but I've heard a lot of different ideas about where rates might be going. I don't see the Fed cutting back to zero except in an emergency circumstance. You have to remember, zero interest rates are not the norm. They're nowhere near the norm, and the Federal Reserve would like to have somewhat normalized monetary policy, which means that they also have some tools in their tool belt in case the economy does indeed turn south. They're not going to just fire off all their bullets unless they have a target in mind.
Well, I suppose they could be repurchasing some bonds, too, That could be another way to go.
That could be. And, of course, they've been involved in quantitative tightening for some time, letting those bonds and other securities roll off of the Federal Reserve balance sheet. That could be something that they could adjust as well, one way or the other, without changing interest rate policy, which seems to be the headline that we hear from the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve changes rates. Everybody hears about that. They make an adjustment in their balance sheet. It kind of slips right by most people.
You step back a second. I'm just wondering if markets are climbing a wall of worry or, what's really going on out there, because the consensus view, and I don't want to discount that it could be right, but the consensus view is that all we're experiencing is a bear market rally. The sell-off in December got everybody pretty bearish. It's almost a uniform opinion, and my models aren't really that bearish for the year. I'm not saying you can't have volatility, Sinclair. I mean, if you remember last February, we took that big nosedive, scared the dickens out of everybody, and then we came back. Maybe the inverse is happening this year. Maybe we rally into the first quarter and then have a correction. But net, honestly, I don't know how you read it, but to me, I think it could still be a positive year, particularly, if you got the Fed ready to move in a certain way, and the international scene seems to be improving. The natural resources seem to be improving. I don't know. How do you see it?
Well, first of all, I would not bet against Mark Leibovit's annual forecast model. That would be foolish. You just don't do it.
Thank you.
Your forecast model has been eerily accurate over the years, so I commend you for that. And I do think, though, that within that scenario, and I think it is at this point still a bear market, and any rallies that we're seeing are bear market rallies. Now, that could change, particularly if we continue to see the rally run. And there can be a lot of volatility even in a bear market rally. We can see that, that's how bear markets end, with rallies. So we could see some rallies. We could definitely see some rallies, and it could surprise people. You don't just want to sit on the sidelines. You're going to miss some tremendous opportunities. There can be some big moves. You look in, I don't have my charts in front of me, but I would say from sometime in December to now, I believe the Dow is up a little over 10%. I mean, that's a big move in a fairly short period of time. You don't want to miss that.
Right, particularly if you're trading and you're following the markets as closely as we are. So, and then you're looking at some big names like Apple Computer and Amazon well off their highs. So, time will tell. Honestly, I'm thinking there were some bargain basement opportunities there, and then the game's not over yet. But You'll try to catch the swing. I just want to get your thoughts,
What we saw this past week was a lot of the chip stocks in particular rallied. And the chip stocks had been market leaders, I guess, 2017 into 2018. And then maybe 6 months ago or so, they started to fall apart and started to drop. We're still going to need computer chips, though. That's not going to change. And so a lot of these companies are just kind of working through a little downturn, and I think that they're going to rally back and be a fairly positive sector. A lot of the well-known tech names are going to be performing, even though there's been a slight downturn. The question is, can it continue through the entire year, and can it balance or counterbalance the effects of the shutdown, the effects of the China trade war, what's going on down in Venezuela, and all these other issues that are coming up as well.
Sinclair, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Great insights. Sinclair No from EatTheBankers.com, and also commentator over at KFNN 1510 Radio. Have a great weekend. I'm on the road next week heading up to Vancouver, Sinclair, so hopefully we can do the interview from there, and have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mark.
And folks, each week, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say decades ago on the old Financial News Network, if you remember that, when he closed his show, as we do, with the phrase, "We will know in the fullness of time." Thank you for joining us here at Wall Street Raw.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.